Continuing from the previous episode 1190. Kid, die! A stern voice came from all directions in the village shrouded in the ghost fog, making people unable to distinguish the true direction, but the huge power contained in the black fog made people secretly smack tongue. Don't be too happy too soon. And when he noticed the mysterious man's fierce attack, even Shuai couldn't help but be vigilant. In fact, Shuai is still a little worried. After all, although Xiaoyan's soul power is strong, in the final analysis, it is only the strength of the one-star Do Xian in the early stage. I am afraid that he will not be able to deal with these two-star Do Xian. If Xiaoyan fails, I am afraid that his end will be bad. Where to go? Go to hell. Seeing that Xiaoyan and Shuai did not move, the mysterious man suddenly laughed violently, his palms slowly shook, and dozens of phantoms attacked Shuai from all directions. On the palm composed of ghost qi, a wave of black ghost qi fluctuations slowly brewed into existence. Such a terrible blow. If it is hit, I am afraid that Shuai will be seriously injured if he does not die. Dozens of phantoms, each of which is like a real body. Although my attack method is tyrannical, it only has the power of one blow. If I choose the wrong one, I'm afraid. Right now, I can only pin my hopes on this guy. I hope you won't let me down. Shuai held her hands tightly, and a tyrannical aura was suppressed in an instant. If Xiaoyan succeeded, then naturally everyone is happy. If they fail, I'm afraid that both of them will be in deep danger. Wang buzzing. A slight voice actually sounded slowly in this ghost fog realm. The sound was like a locust shaking its wings. Keep calm and guard your soul. When the mysterious man concentrated on attacking Shuai, Xiaoyan suddenly transmitted a faint sound transmission to Shuai's mind. What? Shuai heard that, just after protecting her soul realm, she didn't have time to ask Xiaoyan why, and suddenly a very harsh voice sounded slowly in this ghost fog shrouded in ghost qi. Crying from the sky. The next moment, Xiaoyan's soul attack also erupted in an instant. Wang buzzing. Like the sound of countless locusts flapping their wings, it slowly reverberated in this space. The next moment, an invisible energy ripple with violent energy attacked the mysterious man. The 10 figures attacked Shuai, but Xiaoyan's invisible soul force shot at the middle figure in an instant. How is it possible? When the mysterious man saw this, his face covered by the black clothes became distorted, and a fear filled his heart. Boom boom boom. In just one breath, Xiaoyan's soul attack silently hit the mysterious man's real body. Although the mysterious man transformed into 10 phantoms with the help of the enchantment, under Xiaoyan's huge soul power, he could see through his real body at a glance. In addition, the mysterious man was concentrating on dealing with Shuai. Naturally, Xiaoyan's attack was not found, and now he was hit by such a tyrannical soul attack from Xiaoyan, and suddenly a scream resounded through the enchantment. The two-star fighting immortal powerhouse really lives up to its reputation. After Xiaoyan performed his soul attack, although the mysterious person was injured, the shock force of the mysterious person also made Xiaoyan uncomfortable, and a mouthful of blood suddenly spewed out. If this guy is also a one-star Do Xian strong, then the attack of his soul just now, I am afraid that he can be completely wiped out in an instant, but this guy is a two-star Do Xian. This is. At the next moment, Xiaoyan just wanted to regulate his body, when a stream of clear and transparent water suddenly attached to his body, and even the injury that had just been shaken by the mysterious person was also slowly healing. The rest, leave it to me. Xiaoyan shook his head, and suddenly saw Shuai not far from him. At this time, the clear and transparent water flow all over his body slowly wrapped it, even in his pupils. Full of a majestic atmosphere that is not afraid of heaven and earth. Su, you bastards! It's a good thing for me, and you all have to die. The black clothes on the mysterious man who was hit by Xiaoyan's soul attack shattered instantly, revealing his true colors, and he became weak in an instant, obviously suffering from serious injuries. Soul body? Seeing this, Xiaoyan couldn't help but say, obviously he was too familiar with this illusory state. Let you feel the true power of the water attribute to fight immortals. Saint rank intermediate. Waterfall sky curtain. At the next moment, the water flow around Shuai's body quickly flowed, and then a larger flow of water burst out from her body, and then attacked the evil soul body that had already shown its original shape. Go! It's so strong. Shao Yan saw that the water flow that burst out of Shu Wei's body actually formed a huge water curtain with a size of hundreds of feet, like a huge water network that was impenetrable and hungry, and the pressure contained on it made Shao Yan feel like he was out of breath. How is that possible? Seeing this, the soul body couldn't help roaring. Obviously, the coercion that this waterfall and sky curtain gave him was like death. Boom, boom, boom. However, Shu Wei did not give the soul body any chance to hesitate. With a sudden squeeze of the palm, the huge water curtain shot directly at it. Crash! Although the power of the water flow is not strong, the water curtain with a size of hundreds of meters, coupled with the huge momentum, this force is enough to tear any strong person. The soul body seemed to have lost the restraint of the black clothes, and its strength dropped significantly. Just when it was touched by the water curtain, a heart-piercing voice resounded throughout the village. Bang, bang, bang. With such a scream of the soul body, the enchantment of the realm of ghost fog that it casted instantly dissipated. Etc. Stay alive. The next moment, the huge water curtain engulfed all the soul body in an instant, and then a rushing voice sounded. Oops! Called by this sudden voice, Shu Wei suddenly lost the breeze just now, regretting. These guys are actually hiding something from me. I have to keep a hand. After Shao Yan finished speaking, his hand jumped lightly, and he went directly to the claws of the soul body. With this trace of the source of his soul, Shao Yan was able to force him to find out the information he needed. Pimple. The soul body that was swallowed by the water moon and water curtain in the midair, but in an instant, the sound of an explosion sounded, and then it turned into a sky full of powder and disappeared. Shu Wei, you! As soon as the earth monkey appeared, he rolled his eyes at Shu Wei. I couldn't control it. Shu Wei also shrugged helplessly. Obviously he didn't expect that this guy's two-star fighting immortal's strength would be so vulnerable. However, Shu Wei obviously didn't know that if it wasn't for Shao Yan's soul attack being the biggest nemesis of this kind of soul body, I'm afraid a middle-level saint-level fighting skill, Waterfall Tianmu, wouldn't be able to kill him. Any clues? Yu Yifeng and the others also came to the village. Looking at the messy village, they couldn't help but say, it's fine for now. All the people who attacked this village are dead. But one thing is strange, it seems that these guys are not human. Almost all of them are soul bodies. Shu Wei shook her head and said, soul body? But when he heard this sentence, the always quiet old man village chief shrank his pupils tightly, and a trace of fear flashed in his eyes. End of this chapter. Continuing from the previous episode 1191. What's wrong with you? Yu Yifeng asked without changing his expression, looking at the fear that appeared in the old man's heart. Just after Shao Yan and Shui Yu left, even if Yu Yifeng pressed him about something, the old man didn't reveal anything, which made Yu Yifeng doubtful, but he didn't expose him immediately. How could it be a soul body? Our deserted village obviously didn't do anything to hurt the world. How could it be here? The old man seemed to be extremely distressed and shouted with his head covered. Shu Wei, appease him. When Yu Yifeng saw this, he said directly, if he let it go on like this, I'm afraid this old man would die instantly because he couldn't bear the blow. Okay. Shu Wei heard the words, and a gentle wave of water slowly surrounded the old man. Just now she was about to slowly stabilize his mood. Old man, what's wrong with you? Shao Yan stepped forward and asked tentatively. It's them. It must be them. They came back for revenge. Enveloped by the soft water waves of Shu Wei, his mood instantly stabilized, but there was a hurried voice coming out of his mouth. They? When the old man said this, the whole group couldn't help but look at each other. Calm me down. Shu Wei was also at a loss, and immediately increased the surrounding of water waves, instantly comforting the old man. Are you all right? As Shu Wei increased her strength, the old man suddenly calmed down. After a while, Shao Yan opened his mouth and said, oh, they're all dead. Seeing that in this village, thousands of villagers all fell to the hands of the original mysterious man, the old village chief couldn't help but look melancholy. Old man, what's going on? Yu Yifeng asked after the old man stabilized. You are also heading to Ice and Fire Island, right? The old man seemed to see everyone's thoughts and said immediately. One thing, but we are not the same as these guys. Yu Yifeng heard the words, and did not deny it, he said directly. Island of Fire and Ice. Seeing this, Shao Yan secretly wrote down the name in his heart, but he didn't know why. Every time he chanted this name, The mysterious power surrounding the clan lines on his forehead spread out. Hot stock volatility. Ice and Fire Island. 10 Temple Yama. They should be old rivals. But this Fire and Ice Island is quite dangerous. Why are these people going? The danger of Ice Fire Island, even if it is a 4-star fighting immortal, there will be no return. The Lord of Soul Eater whispered softly. Since you are going to Ice Fire Island, do you know what Ice Fire Island is? After a while, the old man changed his weakness and said to Yu Yifeng. Quote. When everyone heard the words, they were indifferent at that time. Obviously, they knew very little information about Ice and Fire Island. Ice and Fire Island, that is a very special island above our eastern continent. The old man spoke slowly, as if he was telling a story. The location of Ice Fire Island is extremely mysterious. I am afraid that in the entire eastern continent, there are only 3 people who know it. And it is said that the location of Ice and Fire Island is not on land, but in a special void. Ice Fire Island is surrounded by hot flames and bone-deep ice. If you find a place and want to enter it, then the ice fire will undoubtedly be the first test. The Ice Fire Island is a combination of an active volcano and a 10,000-year ice cellar. The entire Ice Fire Island is roughly divided into 2 parts. 10 floors, and every floor is imprisoned with heinous villains. Those wicked people have tainted tens of thousands of lives in their hands. That's why Ice and Fire Island is also called by outsiders a purgatory for imprisoning the wicked. The old man said as if he remembered some rather bad memories. Ice and Fire Island? 10-level prison? Shao Yan heard the words, and his head was covered with black lines. It was hard to believe that the destination of these people was Ice Fire Island, but Ice Fire Island was a prison. Could it be that these people were there to save people? In Ice and Fire Island, there are guardians on each floor. After defeating the guardians, it is possible to come into contact with the imprisoned villains, and it is also possible to obtain a lot of gold and silver treasures, but there are island guardians on the Ice and Fire Island. It has been guarded for generations, so few people can save these villains. And the souls who just attacked my village, although I don't know their specific forces, but they are quite passionate about the prisoners in the Ice and Fire Island, as if they want to rescue someone. The old man continued. I think your aura is very strong, but if you want to rely on this strength to go to Ice Fire Island, I still advise you to give up, otherwise you will have no return. The old man's voice was very solemn, obviously for Shao Yan and his party. Man's warning. These, we all know. We went to Ice and Fire Island because we were entrusted by others. As for whether or not things can be successful, it depends on luck. Yu Yifeng said with a slight smile after hearing this. Where is Ice Fire Island? After a while, Yu Yifeng spoke up. Where is Ice Fire Island now? Shuiwei asked. Ice and Fire Island can move. I'm afraid that in a month, its exit will temporarily appear, and the entrance to that appearance is probably in Shawu village not far from our deserted village. The old man said, Boss, this guy? Shuiwei asked after hearing the words, unable to make up her mind for a while. He's right. Yu Yifeng heard the words and slowly looked into the distance. They had indeed entered the Ice and Fire Island by chance, it's just that just dealing with the guardians of the 10th floor made them almost annihilated, and the ground dragon blood crystal was also there. Obtained therein. After defeating the 10th floor guardian, getting the dragon blood crystals and some treasures, they are heading towards the 9th floor, but where they are, they have suffered heavy losses, which is enough if it wasn't for Jade Legacy's ability to press the bottom of the box. I'm afraid they will all die where. They don't know the specific appearance of the guardian of the 9th floor. The only thing that is certain is that the guardian of the 9th floor is a creature who is good at using soul power to attack. This is why they took out the dragon blood crystal. Go to the auction to find out why the alchemist went. And the reason for all of this is that it started with a commission. The Eagle Eye Squad was originally intended to serve their Jade family, and it was quite famous on Dongzhou, but for some unknown reason, it was paid attention to by a big man, and thus a commission was placed. This commission carries the energy fluctuations of the supreme masters of the ghost world. If they don't handle it well, let alone their team, I am afraid that the strength behind them will also be instantly wiped out. This is why they are so anxious. And this entrusted task is to rescue a certain figure imprisoned in the Ice and Fire Island. It's just that although they knew who they were going to rescue, they didn't know much about Ice Fire Island, so they couldn't be sure which floor that person was on, so they could only explore layer by layer. This is why they found Shao Yan. According to their guess, this person is on the 9th or 8th floor at most. Continuing from the previous episode 1192. Since that's the case, let's go first. Yu Yifeng said slowly after a while, his voice filled with a majestic momentum. As soon as the words fell, a dazzling and fierce fighting chi emerged, which directly swept all the mysterious people here in an instant. With a pinch of the palm, they instantly turned into dust. Yes, when everyone saw this, the mysterious people in the team didn't have too much sympathy. After all, they deserved what they deserved, so they slowly prepared to leave for the next village. Ice and Fire Island exists in a mysterious void. Every once in a while, an entrance will appear randomly in Dongzhou. If they don't encounter it, I am afraid that they will need to wait for more time, so they must hurry and arrive at the entrance in advance to wait. Let's go. Seeing the sad expression in the old man, everyone didn't stop, and went directly to the next village. This time, they did not summon the flying beast, but chose the easiest way to walk. After all, this deserted village has already been slaughtered, and the next village is definitely not good, but to go there, for the sake of safety, walking is the safest. Wait a minute, everyone, Shao village may have been slaughtered by gangsters, and you need something to enter Icefire Island, just as the old man knows that he can take you there. The old man knows that his strength is weak, but I still want to urge you to wipe out those villains, so as to comfort the spirits of the dead in our village. Just as Shao Yan and the others were about to leave, the old man said sadly. Shuiwei, you, Shao Yi and Miss Luqing plus Shao Yan, the four of you go to Shao village to inquire. We and the old man will go get the thing back, otherwise it will be extremely difficult to enter Icefire Island without it. After a while, Yu Yifeng decided. He needs something to enter the entrance of Ice and Fire Island. He knows this, and now the time is tight, so he can only resort to this. Then separate here. If you encounter an invincible enemy, retreat first. You guys are headed by little brother Shao Yan. Yu Yifeng explained, then he smiled slowly at Shao Yan, and took the two to follow the old man. The strength of Jade Legacy 3-star Fighting Immortal is naturally able to detect some hidden things. This Shao Yan is by no means as simple as it seems. If that's the case, then let's go. Seeing Yu Yifeng leaving, Shao Yan shrugged helplessly and said immediately. Attacking the mysterious people in the deserted village is undoubtedly similar to the power of the Soul Palace on the Doqi continent, so Shao Yan is still a little afraid of this ghost world. After all, the power of the Soul Palace, even Shao Yan thinks about it now. Some indifferent. Fortunately, Shao Yan had captured a trace of the leader's soul power just now, so he could also question him while he was on his way. Let's go to Shao village first and see the journey. We should be able to reach the periphery in 2 days, and then wait and see what happens. Shuiwei on the side took out the map and said with a glance. Second uncle is really, why let a hairy boy bring us? Isn't this asking us to die? Yu Shaoyi, who was beside him, said with a gloomy expression. Originally, Yu Shaoyi was an eldest young lady with a temper. Before adding Shao Yan, she was rude to herself and would definitely lose her temper, but after being warned by Yu Yifeng secretly 3 times, she could only carefully keep her anger in her heart. Otherwise, if Shao Yan's chi ran away, the Jade Legacy would probably make Shao Yi unable to eat and walk around. Let's go. Shao Yan naturally didn't want to pay attention to this girl, laughed, and took the lead in walking. Following Shao Yan's walk, a man and 2 women followed slowly. Under the leadership of Shao Yan's enormous soul power, the 4 of them avoided the territory of many soul beasts, and the journey was easy, which inevitably weakened Yu Shaoyi's anger towards Shao Yan. There should still be some distance to go. Let's see next. Where is this guy sacred? And Shao Yan, with his huge soul power, found that there were no enemies in this radius, and he was also doing 2 things with one heart, preparing to capture the one he had just captured. A trace of soul power to explore. Be careful. If this guy is really a member of the Ghost Kingdom, then he may have some secrets about him. After all, the Ghost Kingdom is quite mysterious, and even the highest among us in the 3 domains cannot penetrate them. Shao Yan's mind moved. At that time, the voice of the Soul Eater came out. Shao Yan heard the words, and carefully released a trace of the mysterious man's soul power into his sea of vindictiveness, and immediately mobilized a huge soul power to prepare for exploration. Do it! Shao Yan was still walking calmly, but at this time, the dazzling soul power in his body was strung against the soul power he had just captured, and the memories poured into Shao like a sea. In the mind of inflammation. This guy seems to have violent soul power fluctuations. Is it an illusion? Lu Qing's beautiful eyes moved, obviously sensing something, but nothing was wrong with Yu Xiaoyi and Shuiwei. Hoo. Detecting memory is a rather dangerous method. If Xiaoyan's soul power is weaker than the mysterious person's soul power, he may be taken away by him in an instant, but on the contrary, Xiaoyan's soul power is stronger than him. Suddenly, a lot of information can be obtained from that trace of soul power. How could it be possible? And Xiaoyan, just after examining that trace of soul power, his eyes were a little dull, and a wry smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. What's wrong? Although the Soul Eater was living in Xiaoyan's body, he didn't know what Xiaoyan had found out of the mysterious person's soul power. Seeing Xiaoyan's appearance, he couldn't help asking. This guy's strength is about the early stage of 2-star Do Xian, and he has a good position in the Ghost Kingdom, but he doesn't seem to have contact with their high level. Xiaoyan's eyes flashed with a hint of pity. Well, the guys in the Ghost Kingdom are very careful, and they have a clear division of labor. People who are too low level should not know anything. The Lord of Soul Eater also shook his head when he heard the words. But I just checked this guy's memory. Apart from saying that a strong man in their Ghost Kingdom was imprisoned in Icefire Island, it seems that some intermittent memories are telling one thing. Xiaoyan said with some doubts. What's the matter? The Soul Eater asked slightly. Light, devil, life. The last ray of light. Xiaoyan relied on his memory to recheck the memory of his investigation without a trace. What? As Xiaoyan's voice just fell, the Soul Eater Lord's expression became extremely nervous. Even in the Na Ring, the Soul Eater Talisman and the Blood River Bell exude a monstrous ghostly energy, tightly wrapping the Soul Eater Lord. Senior, you are. This was also the first time Xiaoyan saw the mainstream of Soul Eater revealing such a situation, so he couldn't help saying. Those aren't things you should know. But next, I will try my best to make you improve your strength quickly. Those things, when your strength reaches your own level, whether it is me, the Golden Dragon King, or even the secrets of your Shao clan, will tell you all the secrets. Soul Eater's voice was full of melancholy, and his words were sincere and sincere. He said to Xiaoyan. End of this chapter. Continuing from the previous episode 1193. Xiaoyan and his party slowly walked towards Shawu village, and Yu Yifeng also took the rest of the team and went directly to the place where the medicines that entered Icefire Island were grown. At this time, Shawu village. Shawu village, this is a village living by the sea. The whole village has about 2,000 people. It is not small in scale. There are a variety of wooden houses and sand along the way. In addition, with the invasion of the sea breeze, fog will blow from time to time here, causing blurred vision, hence the name. At this time, in almost the entire village, powerful men stood on an altar about 100 meters in size, facing the three figures with the same enemy. I saw the three figures, wearing a dark black robe, covering the entire body tightly, and a trace of extremely evil aura constantly permeated from their body, but behind the black robe, there was a thorn. A big red letter. Sin. The conspicuous red enchanting characters seem to reveal some evil power, which makes people linger in fear. Wearing a black robe, behind the back is an extraordinarily enchanting figure set off by the red word of sin. Old village chief, can you think about it? Among the three figures, the figure standing in the middle spoke slowly, and there was a sense of playfulness in his voice, which made everyone around him feel uneasy. Humph. You messed up forces, don't try to devour our village. Even if we die, we won't agree to your unreasonable demands. A burly man with a big sword in his hand stepped forward and said, his eyes it was filled with an aura of fearlessness. There's a lot of nonsense. The next moment, the burly man's voice just fell, and the figure on the far right of the three figures suddenly flashed as fast as a ghost, and came to him with a dark and evil aura. Suddenly the burly man fell into a pool of blood. Boss, why are you talking so much nonsense with them? If you don't agree, kill them all. The figure on the far right casually obliterated the burly man, and then said impatiently. Don't go too far. Seeing his clansmen being killed under his own eyes, the old village chief's eyelids trembled violently, as if he was ready to fight these three guys at any time. Village chief, there are absolutely no people in Shawu village who are greedy for life and fear of death. As long as you say a word, we will kill them endlessly. Some clansmen also looked at each other and said to the three figures, "Old village chief, you have to think carefully. If you make a mistake in this kind of decision, I'm afraid you are not alone." The man in the middle didn't seem to be in a hurry, and smiled directly. I promise you. But I can only help you deceive the Hawkeye team. As for whether you can arrest them, that's none of our business." The old village chief reluctantly said, no matter how angry he was, he wouldn't dare to confront these guys in front of him. Because they are too strong, and there are thousands of lives behind them. "Hey, old village chief, you should have done this long ago. Then it won't be like this." The figure who had just wiped out the burly man smiled slowly, his voice full of evil intentions. "When they arrive, I will lead them into the trap you set up," the old village chief said viciously. "Then we won't bother." After the three of them finished speaking, their figures flashed, and then an evil aura like moths left Btth2 in place. "Village chief, the aura on their bodies is too evil. I'm afraid it has something to do with the extraterrestrial evil clan. We can't help." Some figures couldn't help roaring, obviously as members of the Great Thousand World. How could they be with the extraterrestrial evil? Clan collusion. Then why not? We have reported this matter for a long time, but the superpowers above Dongzhou are still unheard of. I am afraid that these guys have penetrated into the superpowers of Dongzhou. And what else can we do other than promise them? Did you fight with them? Betting on the lives of the whole village? The old village chief seemed to be emotional and roared in a low voice. "Hey!" Many men on the altar heard the words and sighed slightly. They all knew that although the village chief was doing this at the risk of a big deal, it was also for the sake of the lives of their villagers. "Sir, are these guys credible?" And the three figures who just disappeared were hidden in a hidden place outside the Shao village. "It doesn't matter. The guys from the Ghost Kingdom pretended to be the high-level leaders of Yinhushan and hired the Eagle Eye team to go to Icefire Island to rescue the strong people in their clan. And we got the news that this undead leaf is in the hands of this group of people, but we don't know who it is. But for my king's coming and revenge, we must do our best to prevent the resurrection of the Holy Flame. After all, the Holy Flame's suppression of the king is too strong. And after countless years of research, we have already found a way to restrain the Holy Flame. As long as we get the undead leaf, with the connection between the undead leaf and the undead fire, we can keep this Holy Flame from appearing in the next world war. When the war between heaven and earth comes, this great world will lose the restraint of the holy flames on our foreign evil races. I see how they resist the pressure of our army. Susu. After the three figures finished speaking, they suddenly let out a gloomy smile that didn't look like a human being. As the figures of the three Sin forces slowly released evil smiles, at this moment, there were countless secret passages extending in all directions. The person from Lord Soul link to www.novelmtl.com/sin seems to be here too. In the dark passage, a voice sounded leisurely. What are they doing here? When the figure called Soul Venerable heard the words, he was shocked. As the soul of the Ghost Kingdom, he naturally knows the power of Sin. Sin is a mysterious force composed of human beings. No one knows its overall strength, but the only certainty is that this force is not small. They spurn human beings and are willing to serve the evil races outside the realm. They are the moths that everyone in the world hates. These guys are specializing in bad things for us. Keep an eye on the Hawkeye team. Once they have an accident, they must report it in time. The Hawkeye team is very strong. We hired them to let them take the lead. Only then can we rescue the guy from Icefire Island, the mysterious Soul Venerable said slowly. After speaking, the underground passage has returned to calm, but it is also the time of a storm. It should be Shao village in front. 2 days passed in a flash, and then Xiao Yan and the four came to Shao village not far away. Hearing the sound of the sea slamming on the rocks, the two women were overjoyed. Said, "Strange, how can there be a rather evil aura in this Shao village? Evil tribes from outside the realm?" Even though it was still several hundred meters away, Xiao Yan, relying on his huge soul power, smelled a trace of people who were terrifying. Disgusting breath. Sheng Yan is the biggest nemesis of the evil clan outside the realm, so Xiao Yan naturally sensed a breath that was difficult for everyone to notice. Continuing from the previous episode 1194. This village shouldn't be easy. As Shao Yan smelled the aura of the evil race outside the territory with the power of Sheng Yan, the whole person became vigilant. Shao Yan knows that Sheng Yan has been the nemesis of the evil tribes from the ancient times, and he has as many as 3 holy flames in his body. If the evil tribes know about it, they will definitely destroy themselves at all costs. All things are born, and they have their own mutual restraints, so Shao Yan always felt that there seemed to be some way of restraining the power of Saint Yan from this extraterritorial evil clan. With the addition of the Gorfiends they encountered before, the entire race was completely wiped out by Shao Yan in Xuanchen Santian, but the ranking of the Gorfiends among the extraterritorial evil races seemed to be at the bottom. In the Eastern continent, if encountering a foreign evil clan, their strength must be much stronger than the Blood Demon clan, which is why Shao Yan is so cautious. "Little brother, are you all right?" Everyone came to a few hundred meters away from Shaowu village. Suddenly Shao Yan's figure stood still, and the other 3 also stopped. Shuiwei took the lead and said to Shao Yan, "Fine. However, there seems to be some unrest in this village, everyone be careful." Following Shuiwei's words, Shao Yan said quite freely, "This guy." As soon as Shao Yan finished speaking, Lu Qing's beautiful eyes moved slightly and couldn't help but look at Shao Yan. Just after arriving in front of the village, Lu Qing immediately used the treasures on his body to discover some hidden auras in the village, but this Shao Yan was able to find something unusual at a glance, which had to be said if his soul power is too strong. "Let's go. Shaowu village and our Hawkeye team are old friends. Let's go and ask about it first." Shuiwei didn't seem worried, and stepped directly into it. When everyone heard the words, they followed closely. Old village chief. Shuiwei had just poured into the territory of Shaowu village, and suddenly shouted at it. When Shuiwei called out like this, it was surprisingly quiet, as if there was no one in the village. "My friends, are you here?" As soon as Shuiwei's voice fell, in the only beautiful wooden house in the Shaowu village, a middle-aged man accompanied an old man and walked slowly away. "Come out." "En? How sharp is Shao Yan's soul power?" When the old village chief just came out of the wooden house, his brows were clearly furrowed, as if he was thinking about something, but after he left the wooden house, he laughed. Shao Yan couldn't help but speculate about the evil race. "Interesting. I want to see what medicine you sell in the gourd." Shao Yan said with a slight smile in his heart, so he kept silent and followed behind Shuiwei. "Shuiwei, are you here? The timing of your visit this time is just right. In a few days, it will be time for the entrance to open." The old village chief smiled directly, and then quickly greeted Shuiwei. "That's right." Shuiwei laughed when she heard the words. "Old village chief, these are some local specialties." The next moment, Jade Xiaoyi stepped forward gently, and a few nativity rings flashed out. "I have thanked everyone in the Hawkeye team. Everyone, please, have a cup of tea first." When the old village chief saw this, there was a hint of hesitation in his eyes. Their Shaowu village is remote, and the products produced in Guangguang village cannot meet their daily expenses. Since they got to know the Eagle Eye team will bring them a lot of supplies every time they pass by. In return, the clansmen of Shaowu village will give the Hawkeye squad enough information and the entrance to Icefire Island. "Old village chief, our captain has gone to get the items that entered the Ice and Fire Island. We are in a hurry, let's go and see the entrance first." Shuiwei also opened the skylight and said eloquently, "Okay, everyone, please come with me." The old village chief immediately took the lead when he heard the words. "It's too quiet. There are only 2 people in this village? These guys, something is not right. Be careful for a while." Shao Yan said to the other 3 using his soul power, and then the old village chief led Shao Yan and the 4 slowly through the building by the sea, and then came to a circle with a size of 100 meters. Altar. The location of the Ice and Fire Island is that it will appear in the center of the altar, and there will be no mistakes every time. The old village chief pointed to a sunken hole in the center of the altar. "Let's go in and have a look." Shuiwei heard the words without hesitation, and went straight with everyone, but he didn't notice that as soon as the words fell, the old village chief's eyes were very wrong, and he did not follow them in the altar, but on the edge of the altar. In order to prevent the old village chief from discovering something about him, Shao Yan also followed, but at this time Shao Yan's huge soul power and fighting spirit were always ready, and if anything went wrong, he would immediately take action. "What is this?" Shuiwei just came to the center of the altar, and she looked down at the hollow, but saw a rather hideous black ghost. Just looking at it like this made Shuai feel like a formidable enemy, and she couldn't help shouting loudly. "No, hurry up, Susu!" Before Shuai's voice could be heard, the shadowy shadow under the void rushed out in an instant, and a strange black gas that was extremely dark suddenly spread out. One breath took the entire time. The altar is surrounded by death. And with the pervasiveness of this strange black chi, everyone felt that their fighting chi became weak in an instant. "Old village chief, you." A hint of disbelief appeared on Shuai's face when she noticed this scene. "We have already done things for you, and we will not care about our business." After the old village chief finished speaking, his figure flashed and disappeared directly here. At this moment, this Shao village can be regarded as truly empty, and I am afraid that its clan has been secretly sent away by the old village chief. "Susu, Gulagulu." An extremely evil black breath and voice continued to emerge from this altar. "This bastard." Shuai couldn't help cursing. However, after scolding and scolding, the hands still did not stop. Shuai knew that of the four of them, only her own strength reached the 2-star Do Xian. If she failed, I am afraid the other three. "Susu, feel the embrace of death." But the huge ghost was shrouded in the black air of the altar, making a treacherous voice. "Ah, ah." As the shadowy voice fell, the other three suddenly made a rather strange sound. This is the realm of forbidden source, and felt that the shadow did not obliterate their intentions, but their strength, in the enchantment created by the black shadow, dropped a full rank in an instant. Shuai was originally in the early stage of 2-star Do Xian, but at this time it was only in the early stage of 1-star Do Xian. As for the two girls, Yu Xiaoyi and Lu Qing, the original 1-star Do Xian strength was actually suppressed to the level of Do Di. Shabu. It's okay. However, Xiaoyan's figure was not imprisoned by this thing at this time. Obviously, the dual defense of vindictive energy and soul power he just had an effect, and his expression was full of pride. "I am Emperor Yan, who is in charge of the Lord of 10,000 Fires. How can I see the evil clan from outside the region?" The majestic fighting spirit permeated from the bottom of Xiaoyan's heart. End of this chapter.